Hey everyone, welcome to this video. So in this video, what we're going to be getting into is the campaign creation. So we're actually going to go ahead and build out your campaign today completely step by step. So what we're going to want to go ahead and do in going through the campaign creation, we're going to go through some of the actual rules that we want to go ahead and do. So when we start up your very first campaign, and if this is not your first campaign, if it is your first campaign, though, you're going to start it at $25 per day. If it's not, you're going to go ahead and start it at whatever 1/4 of your current daily budget is. And then what you're going to go ahead and do is for this campaign, you're going to need 2 pieces of ad copy. I'm also going to leave all of this down below this video as well, so you can follow along there. And so we're going to need 2 pieces of ad copy, 2 different pieces of ad copy. Now, for these 2 pieces of ad copy, we want to make sure that they either focus on the same scene, the same trope, the same universal fantasy. And then as an example for that, you can read through this ad copy right here. You can pause the video. You can see we start out with a hook in this one. And we start out with a very similar hook because it's a very similar, it's the exact same scene essentially. And then have a cliffhanger here with the dialogue. And then we also have a cliffhanger here with the dialogue. It's still the same scene, but it's still slightly different, and it allows for better testing to see what's going to work best. So we want 2 pieces of ad copy to start. And then again, always with this ad copy, I always recommend to make sure to send it to other people, review it. We're going to get a little bit more into ad copy in a minute here. But you always want to make sure to send it to other people, see what other people think about it after writing it, see if they think it could be stronger. Remember, you don't have to pull exactly from the book. You could also essentially write about the story that you're telling, of course, through this ad copy. And then what we're going to go ahead and do with this is we're going to take those 2 different pieces of ad copy and we're going to go ahead and create 2 images, 2 carousels, and 2 videos. And these are all going to be within one campaign. So for example, each carousel will have one of those pieces of ad copy attached to it, just like what we did when we're creating the carousels in that module. And then each of the videos will also have a piece of ad copy attached to it as well. That's why we're going to have 2. And then we're going to go through the naming conventions. And then in the next video, we're going to jump into the actual optimization. So let's go ahead and jump to the ads manager and we'll go ahead and create this out together. So in the ads manager now, what we're going to go ahead and do is start out by clicking on create, clicking on sales, and then continue. And we'll click on manual sales campaign. Now from here, what we're going to go ahead and do is name this with our template. So we're going to start with US. So we'll take out the international, start with US. And then obviously the book name, I'm going to put in test book name. And then we're going to go ahead and scroll down to campaign budget and start this at 25. Awesome. Now we're going to head to the ad set level and then go ahead and use our template here. Test book name. So obviously whatever your book name is there. And then go ahead and scroll down. We're going to click on website, maximize number of conversions, pixel, make sure to go ahead and select your pixel that you're using that's connected to your Shopify, and then purchase for your conversion event. And then right here, this may be here for you. It may already be pre-selected as well. It's a very new feature. It just came out. It is in the attribution settings here. So just go ahead and click on show more options, click on edit, and then make sure to go ahead and turn on engaged view as well. This can help with your attribution for videos and making sure to attribute as many sales as possible to the videos that are driving the sales. And then we're going to go ahead and scroll down. We don't need to edit anything in here. And then all you're going to want to go ahead and do is in the audience suggestions here, we're not going to use the original audience. We've been split testing this a lot recently. And what we're going to want to go ahead and do is use that audience suggestion tool. So it's actually a tool, that button that we just clicked on, to where Facebook is going to use this as a suggestion, but it's going to be able to still use it as a broad audience still if it's going to find more results outside of this audience as well. So what you're going to want to go ahead and do is make sure to go ahead and choose your age that you're going to be targeting. Could be 21 to 60. There's no general age requirements. I would go ahead and just choose whatever your readers are in. If you know that maybe they're an older reader demographic and they're 50 plus, the great thing with this is it's going to start with 50 plus, but then it's going to go ahead and be able to learn and maybe start to show it to people a little bit younger and to test it out. And if it starts seeing more results there and it's cheaper results, it's going to go ahead and get you results down there too. So it's a great feature. Make sure that if any of your books also do mention any alcohol at all, make sure to go ahead and choose 21 plus no matter what. And then you can go ahead and choose your gender. For this example, we're going to go ahead and choose women. And then for your placements, you can go ahead and leave this at Advantage Plus placements as well. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is head over to your ad level. Make sure to go ahead and name your ad, and then go ahead and drop in this naming convention. All of these, again, will be right below this video. So the ad type. So we're going to leave this blank for right now, just as the template, because we're going to duplicate this in a minute. So what we're going to go ahead and do is scroll down to manual upload. For right now, we're going to use single image or video. You can go ahead and leave on multi-advertiser ads. There haven't been any negative effects from multi-advertiser ads. If anything, it's just going to show your ads for more impressions. So I would just go ahead and leave it on. And then what you're going to go ahead and do is add in your very first piece of ad copy here. And then again, always make sure to add your offer. Remember, it's the same exact offer for every single one. And then you'll go ahead and click on add text option and then add copy number 2. There we go. So now we have our 2 pieces of ad copy in there. And then for your headline, you're going to go ahead and put in whatever your offer is. So I'm going to put in 5 books for 30% off. And then for your description, this can be a supporting description. So things like USA Today best-selling author, the actual bundle name, or you can put in a great review as well. Any of those examples would work. There we go. So just drop that in there. And then always want to make sure to choose shop now as well. Then we'll go ahead and scroll down to the website URL. And we can go ahead and drop in the URL here. Awesome. And then we're going to go ahead and scroll down. Again, if you ever do see this, that the call is chosen, you can go ahead and just select none if it is popping up for an error for you. And then we're going to scroll down to the very bottom till we get to URL parameters. We're going to go ahead and build out these URL parameters here. I'm also going to leave the actual piece that you can copy and paste into the URL parameters. But if you want to follow along, these are the ones we're going to go ahead and choose. So site source name, adset name, campaign name, and ad name. Now, again, what these are is these are going to get pulled in to your actual Shopify. When you actually are in the orders section, you can go ahead and click on individual orders and you can see where these ads, you can see where the order was coming from, what ads they actually clicked on, what ads they actually bought from, and things like that. We're going to get into those in future videos. But it's always great to make sure we always have these on here, just so it's always pulling in the data into Shopify. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is scroll up. And we have everything in there just to double check. Great. So what we're going to go ahead and do is click on the 3 dots right here, click on duplicate, and then type in 5. There we go. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is start naming the ads. So this will be image. The book name is test book name. And then we're going to get into why we have the number 1 here in a minute. And then for the ad copy for the images, we actually don't need that because we're not putting the ad copy on the image like we are with the carousel in the video. So we can take that off there. And then we'll go ahead and name the next ad, image, test book name, and then we're having both test book name, and then we'll have it named image number 2. There we go. And then for the next one, we're going to do carousel, test book name, number 1, and then ad copy number 1. And what you'll want to go ahead and do for the ad copy portion here is you're going to want to take whatever is on the actual carousel. So you want to take those first 5 words of the ad copy and go ahead and drop it into the ad copy portion right here. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the next ad. Ad copy number 2. Now for the next one, we're going to do video, book name, and then whatever the actual ad copy is here. And then for the final one, add copy number 2. There we go. Cool. And then, so what you're going to want to go ahead and do for the images is go ahead and drop in your images. Now, what you can also go ahead and do once you get to this crop portion is if your image actually does look really nice in this 9:16, you can go ahead and use this format as well. If it does not fit in there, you can go ahead and use the original, but both have worked very, very well. So if it does look good, you can also move this around here too. So I'm going to go ahead and use this for this example. Awesome. And then once we get to optimize, we can go ahead and leave everything on here. Cool. And then we're going to go to the next image, add copy, add image. And then we'll go ahead and select the next image. So we're going to go ahead and grab this image, go ahead and drop it in. Awesome. And now for your carousels, this is where it's going to be slightly different than essentially dropping in either a single image or a single video. So what we're going to go ahead and do here, and you want to make sure to follow this step by step for the carousels, is clicking on carousel here. So right in format, scrolling down. And as you can see, it's going to go ahead and remove our second ad copy. So you always want to make sure to go ahead and grab that from one of the other ads up here and go ahead and drop it in here so we have both pieces of ad copy in there. And then what you're going to want to go ahead and do is we're going to drop in our cards. So I'm going to go ahead and use the example that we did when we created the carousels in that video. I'm going to use those cards as an example. So what you want to go ahead and do is click on add cards and then click on upload. And then you can see I have all of my images in here. So what you want to go ahead and do is shift select or control select all of them, just whatever you can do to select all of them at once, and then click on open. Now this can take maybe a minute or so to go ahead and upload all of them, but you'll go ahead and see all of these in here once they do. Awesome. So it went ahead and uploaded all of them at once. So what you want to go ahead and do is just select them in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Awesome. Saves a ton of time that way too. And then what you want to go ahead and do is drop in for your headline the exact same offer that we put in the other headline. So 5 books for 50% off. And then you can go ahead and click on apply to all cards. And that's going to go ahead and put that for all the cards, makes it way easier. And then for your description, it's going to be slightly different on the carousels than for your single images. What you're going to want to go ahead and do for this is make sure that you have the either the genre or the main tropes in your book. So for this one, I would say billionaire romance bundle. There we go. And then I'll hit apply to all cards. Awesome. And then the last piece is going to be for our website URL, making sure to go ahead and build out those URL parameters. Again, you're going to follow this protocol. It's going to be site source name, ad set name, campaign name, and ad name. And then go ahead and hit apply. And then you can go ahead and hit apply to all cards as well. And that's going to go ahead and drop in all those URL parameters in there. And then once we have that, you're going to go ahead and scroll down. And then once you see Advantage plus Creative here, make sure to go ahead and click on Edit here. And then make sure that your profile end card is turned off and your highlighted carousel card is turned off. The reason that we do that is because the profile end card is a card at the very end here, and it sends them to the home page. So we want to turn that off because it can be confusing if they think they're going to a product and they go to a home page. So we go ahead and turn that off, and then we turn off the highlighted carousel card as well, because that shows the quote unquote best performing carousel card first, which it wouldn't make sense with the story if it grabs something from the middle. So we go ahead and turn that off as well. And then once you have that entire carousel done, you can go ahead and repeat that exact same process for your next carousel here. So make sure to go ahead and click on carousel and just go through that exact same process for your next one. And then once we get to your videos, you can go ahead and drop in your video in here. So click on add media and then video, choose your video, click on next, make sure that it's original for all of them, and then next, and then done. And then once you have your video in here, you can go ahead and drop in your second video as well. And then once you have all of those assets in your actual campaign, you can actually go ahead and launch your campaign. But before you always do launch your campaign, make sure to always just go through, double check that your naming convention is correct. Make sure that you have the right videos in there. You have all your texts, your images, and then there you go. There's a catch right there. Sometimes when you duplicate ads, it takes out that shop now button and switches it for learn more. So always make sure to go back through, double check. Looks like shop now is good here. Good here. So just go through, double check all the ads, make sure we have every piece of the ad. There we go. Here's another piece. It looks like the URL fell out right there at the bottom. So we can scroll up and grab that from one of these carousel cards. We don't need the URL parameters. We just need the URL here. Drop that back in there. There we go. And then make sure to just go through all of your other ads. Make sure you have everything. Double check. Looks great. Cool. And then you can go ahead and hit publish. So huge congratulations on getting your campaign up and launched. If this is your first campaign, amazing congratulations. And if you've launched campaigns in the past, then again, congratulations for that too, in terms of getting up another campaign as well. We're going to get up quite a few more as we continue to scale and horizontally scale and then vertically scale in the end. So that's what we're going to be getting into in the next video, is how you can actually make optimizations. And then we're going to get into scaling as well. So go ahead and see you in those videos.